Hi guys, Nash here. I want to say a few words about ketogenic diet. I am actually asked all the time, every time actually I open my lunchbox, people come look at it and say, "Oh Nash, you're on ketogenic diet." I say, well, actually I'm not. This is not, "Oh, what do you mean it's not ketogenic diet? You're not eating any carbs." Yes, I'm not eating any carbs, but this is not a ketogenic diet. So there is a lot of confusion and people always confuse low carbohydrate diet with ketogenic diet. And for that reason I want to explain what ketogenic diet is, what it does, is it good for bodybuilders, and what is actually the diet that most of the bodybuilders follow in order to get in top shape before the show or just for photo shoot or anything similar. So first of all, ketogenic diet was introduced by Dr. Wilder in 1921. The purpose, the sole reason for that was actually combating the epileptic seizures in children. So he was trying to prevent them, expose children to the different type of diet unknown till then, which was predominantly made of fat and protein. So by manipulating macronutrients in a very different way, with a more important reason to actually manipulate the hormonal response to that particular diet, Dr. Wilder actually had quite a lot of success, because the favorable hormonal response to the diet was actually helping children reduce those epileptic seizures. Now, ketogenic diet that he used, an original ketogenic diet, is made 70% of fat. So 70% fat, 30% protein, very little if non-carbohydrates. So maximum 30 grams of carbohydrates a day. So remember that, 70% fat, 30% protein. Now the ketogenic diet actually achieved huge popularity in 1971 when, with the publication of Dr. Atkins' book called Atkins Diet Revolution. Dr. Atkins created a diet which is literally unlimited in amount of food you eat, but is completely void of carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are completely excluded, meaning zero carbs, no carbs at all. So predominantly fat and protein. And people who try that have lost a lot of body fat. So that diet just, the popularity simply exploded. Everybody was eating butter and eggs and meat and cheese. And as long as they were eating like that, no carbohydrates, no rice, no pasta, no vegetables, no fruit, nothing like that. Just protein and fat. And as long as they were eating like that, people were losing body fat. Now, remember, those people were mainly sedentary people. They were not athletes and bodybuilders. Okay? So let us look at a typical advice for a ketogenic diet for an athlete, right? So the procedure is following. First of all, the amount of carbohydrates you should eat is 30 grams a day, regardless of your body weight. Now, athletes should eat, according to advocates of ketogenic diet, 0.9 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So for the sake of an argument, let's take somebody who is an athlete who is 200 pounds. 200 pounds means that the guy will eat 180 grams of protein and 30 grams of carbohydrates. This was established now. Now the rest of the necessary calories will have to come from fat. So let's again assume that his BMR is 3000 calories. In order to burn body fat, he will need to cut 500 calories on a daily basis, and in order to lose 1 pound of fat a week, which is advisable. Therefore, his target will be 2,500 calories. Now, you have 180 grams of protein, 30 grams of carbohydrates. They amount to 210 grams of macronutrients, which have value measured 4 calories per gram. So that will be 840 calories from protein and carbohydrates. 840. Now, if we take that out of 2,500, we will end up around 1,660. Let's say 1,700 calories that will have to come from fat. 1 gram of fat has 9 calories. So this will be roughly just under 200 grams of fat a day. Okay? So 180 grams of protein, 30 grams of carbohydrates, and 200 grams of fat a day for a bodybuilder weighing 200 pounds. This is the advice. Now let's look at reality, right? Let me tell you what I know. I know that bodybuilders preparing for the show eat 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So that guy who is 90 kgs, 200 pounds, will end up eating around 360 grams of protein, or let's say 400 grams of protein a day, which will be about 1,600 calories. So he will still have 900 calories to fill with other macronutrients. Usually that will be 200 grams of carbs, which is 800, and 100 calories will probably come of 10-15 grams of fat. So fat goes very low. So you have high protein, medium carbohydrate, low fat diet. This is what most of the people do. Alright? Now, there are people who cannot get in shape eating 200, 250, 300 grams of carbohydrates. I'm one of them. So, but I'm not only one. My estimate is, from my own experience and what I know, that over 60, 70, even 70% of people cannot get in necessary condition by eating 200 to 300 grams of carbs a day. So what do? If I need 2,500 calories in order to burn 1 pound of body fat a day, calories a day, 2,500 calories, I will have to drop my carbohydrates and raise protein levels or fat. So I will have to find a fine balance of how much protein and how much fat I'm going to increase in my diet. So I may end up eating maybe 400 grams of protein, and which is 1,600 calories, and 100 grams of fat, which is 900 calories, and that will give me exactly 2,500 calories. So that diet, which is 400 grams of protein and 100 grams of fat, is not ketogenic diet. This diet is very different, and it's called gluconeogenic diet. So why gluconeogenic diet? Well, there is a process in the liver called gluconeogenesis, meaning that the liver is capable of producing glucose from protein. So excess amount of protein will be transformed into glucose, which will then fill in glycogen stores that were emptied during the exercise. That process of gluconeogenesis is also very expensive physiologically. So the body needs energy, and the body will take that energy for that expensive physiological process from body fat exclusively. Body doesn't use glycogen for metabolic necessities, metabolic process in the body. The energy is taken always from the fat. Now there is another benefit of gluconeogenic diet comparing to high protein, medium carbohydrate diet, which is called hormonal manipulation. So with high protein and medium fat diet, the levels of insulin are much lower than when you eat 200 grams or 250 grams of carbs a day. So insulin goes down, but there is another benefit in the whole process. When insulin starts coming down, insulin, which is fat storing hormone, the other hormone, which is fat burning hormone produced by the pancreas, starts coming up, and is called glucagon. So you want to have higher levels of glucagon because that will help you burn more body fat. This is fat burning hormone, and lower levels of insulin, which is obviously fat accumulating hormone. When you eat carbohydrates, your insulin will go up. This is why it's very difficult. This is why usually people who eat a lot of carbohydrates, or 200-300 grams a day, which is for me a lot, have to do a lot of cardio as well, so they have constantly to burn energy in order to compensate for this insulin fat storing effect caused by carbohydrates. Now that diet, which brings most of the people, myself including, top professional bodybuilders into top shape with higher level of protein and medium amount of fat with very low carbohydrate intake, almost zero, is called gluconeogenic diet. And that diet allows the body to refill glycogen stores. So people say, how can you do all these sets and reps and intensity and every day, twice a day, and you're not eating carbohydrates? This is not possible. Why do you need carbohydrates? Oh, for glycogen stores. But the body will create glycogen from protein, but through very, very different pathway, which will keep insulin lower and raise glucagon higher. So it puts you in absolutely primary position for fat loss. And this is called, again, gluconeogenic diet. Ketogenic diet, because of the low amount of protein, won't allow you to replenish your glycogen stores. Fat won't replenish glycogen stores. Because you don't have enough protein to go through the process of gluconeogenesis, you won't be replenishing your glycogen stores. So with ketogenic diet, your glycogen stores will be empty quickly, and you will be running on your own muscles, on your own muscle tissue, on your amino acids. You will be burning them instead of burning glycogen. So I hope that you learned something new today, and if you did, and if you liked the video, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.